Champaign-Urbana, and I think that you've all heard about him and what he's done. And he has his first book here that's for sale, and he will sign it. But he also has his second book coming out, and he will tell you about that. So I will let him introduce himself a little further to you.
Hi, I'm Quinn. I know a lot of you are wearing the blue name tag. That one's mine. So, like she said, I've written one book, which you are going to be selling, but I don't want to advertise too much. And we also brought a manuscript of my next one, which you guys can look at later if you want. But I guess I should get on to my talk. So when I was putting these together, after I figured out what I was going to say, I tried to figure out who am I going to talk to. I'm going to talk to the adults, the family members, the parents, grandparents of the people diagnosed, or am I going to talk to the kids, the people who actually are diagnosed and are trying to deal with it, or trying to learn exactly what it is. And that sort of led to, what can I tell you that you don't already know, or that you can't figure out for yourself? And it turns out there's nothing. Everything that I've learned from writing my books, you guys can figure out for yourself. But what have I learned? I guess the biggest thing that I've learned is that it's best to feel and know that you're not alone in these situations. You're not the only one diagnosed, and you're not the only one dealing with it. And hearing other people's stories is one of the greatest ways to deal with it. You can compare your experiences, you can figure out ways, or use other people's ways of dealing with it. And it just helps a lot. And, when I was diagnosed, actually, at age 11, it didn't take me long to start looking for information about it, looking for help. I was searching the internet for other people's stories. And I couldn't find anything directed towards me. I found a lot of stuff directed towards parents, stuff for scientists, stuff for people who are looking for weird facts about stuff, everything. But I couldn't find a single thing for me. I mean, I didn't look for books. I couldn't find a single thing for me. And I really hated that, because the stuff I did find, when I looked at it, it felt like they were talking down to me, or that they were talking about me, at me, and they were saying bad things about me. I know they weren't, but this is how it felt, and I really didn't like it. And I wanted to change it, and that's what led to writing my book. Sorry. And when I was writing my book, as much as it was, I was trying to help the public, it became the fact that I was trying to help myself. It turned into a therapy for me. And I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about Asperger syndrome just by writing my book. It didn't take research. I did a lot of research, but it didn't take that to learn all this stuff. And I learned that I was trying to convince myself that I was normal. If I felt I was normal, I was normal. But the truth was, it wasn't true. I was unique. I was unique like famous people have Asperger syndrome. Bill Gates has it. They think Einstein has it. Isaac Newton, the guy who created Pokemon, has Asperger. And we're all unique. And I mean, that's what's great. I'm unique. Everyone's unique. Okay, I'm getting into the cheesy stuff, I'm sorry. But the biggest thing I learned was that I don't mind having Asperger syndrome. I don't mind being different. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who are looking for a cure. Sometimes they're family members, and maybe they really need it. But for me, when that red pill comes along, I'm not taking it because I like who I am, and Asperger syndrome has become a part of me, part of my personality. And if I were to lose that, I just wouldn't be me anymore. I wouldn't be as devoted to school. I wouldn't be as fascinated with science. I wouldn't be as intensely focused on trying to perfect drawing or even just watching a fan thing. That's something I end up doing sometimes. And I definitely would have written a book. Definitely. Maybe some get that. Joke didn't count the way I wanted to. And when it comes to feeling alone, I mean, one of the great places you can come to, but, you know, this isn't your only resource. There's this website I used to go to called wrongplanet.net. If you want to remember that, just make sure you remember the .net or project.com. It's not the same website. And this huge online community of people with Asperger and their family members. And it's just really been helpful. It has, you know, the forums, it has the chat rooms, it has the portion that shows you know, where you can get some really good books about it. It has a news feed. But the greatest part is the community, because they all know what you're going through, what you've gone through, and they've all gone through it too, and they can help. They don't just say, I'm sorry, or what can I do to help, because they know what to do to help, and they've been through it. When I joined, there were about 1,000 members, about 20 members would join each day, and when I started slowing down visiting, there were about 6,000. I went to check yesterday how many members there were. 23,000 people have signed up to join this website. And I don't know 17,000 of them, but I feel like it's the same community, and that it can still be just as helpful for you people as it was for me. The community is great. I have to warn you, of course, you know, it's a little militant about certain things. You know how people with Asperger get obsessed about stuff. They really, since a lot of them are high on the spectrum, don't want to find a cure. I mean, they understand some people need it, but they don't want the cure when it comes along, like I said. And they're also militant against, and I don't agree with it, but they're militant against Autism Speaks, because it doesn't represent people with Asperger very well. But it's just a great community, and when you get past that, everybody there is great. Now, as Sheila mentioned, I've finished my second book. It's, again, on Asperger, since that's pretty much the only thing I can think about writing about. And in this one, I tried to tell the story of, you know, when I was diagnosed, how I dealt with it, and what led to writing my book. And for everyone, you know, expressing yourself is, you know, the best way. Every single person with Asperger has a story to tell. Every single person with Asperger has a book to write. They may not need to write a book. They may not even need to write. But something they can do will help them come to accept who they are. And after that, it's just a breeze. I mean, I know someone on Wrong Planet who wrote a play about Asperger's, and that's how they learned to deal with it. I mean, just express yourself. Eventually it'll come out, and it'll be perfect. And writing this book really reveals to me that writing my first book is what taught me all this stuff. And of course, that's what taught me that what I just told you, that anything you do can help. But sorry, I kind of left off at a spot that I meant to continue and then didn't, but we brought both copies. So we have the first one, and you guys can look at the second one. Does anyone have any questions? Brandon?